Hi, hey, hello, how's it going? So today we're going to be talking about some Romantasy books. This is going to be a mix of a wrap-up and a reading vlog. I'm currently reading a Romantasy and I thought it would be nice to just quickly touch on some Romantasy recently that I've read and enjoyed, but aren't in any videos anywhere because this was over the past few months where I basically haven't really been filming anything. So I wanted to quickly touch on just a few that I've enjoyed and just give you a quick rundown, talk about the book I'm currently reading, and then keep going with that Romantasy that I'm currently reading and maybe one or two others depending on how things go coming up. But I first want to mention When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker. And this one I will need to reread as the sequel comes out, I think later this year. This is not the book's fault, it's the fault of the timing at which I read it. This was what I was reading around the election, and so anyway, we won't go into that. But here we're following Rave and Khan, and Rave is an assassin for the rebellion, and something happens to a friend of hers, and she is in full revenge mode. In that process, she actually gets arrested. Khan is a dragon rider, comes in, ends up like helping her escape from prison, and they get embroiled in a bunch of politics. And this world was definitely just a super unique vibe, and I was digging it. I was having a really fun time. Again, I'll need to come back to it, refresh details that I have put out of my mind, again, not because of the book, but because of timing. But I did want to quickly mention it because I know this one's super popular, and I did have a really good time with this one. I also had a really good time with Bloodguard. I had heard such mixed things about this one and was starting to hear some mixed things right after I got it, which was making me a little nervous. But I honestly had such a fun time with this one. I was so engaged. And we're following Leith, and Leith is in, it's kind of a gladiator style world where he's in these gladiator style battles for the purpose of, if you win enough of them, then you get to be a Bloodguard and will be able to help protect his family, basically. He learns some things that kind of turn his world upside down, and he is wanting to figure out how to get out of that situation and help other people get out of that situation, and kind of figuring out how to like screw it to the people in power, basically. We also follow Maeve, who is a princess in this world, and she's not married yet, but is set to marry someone she doesn't want to marry. She's trying to figure out what to do about that. They can help each other, and so they do end up helping each other with their respective situations, and I was just so engaged. I had a grand time with this one. I'm very excited to read the next one. I also did read Lightlark by Alex Astor, and this one is following Isla, and there is this place that people can go to. It's like once every 100 years. There's this, there are leaders of these different, is it kingdoms, islands, whatever. Different leaders will come together, go through these series of trials, and they're trying to basically get, there are curses on each of their, kingdoms, and they're trying to break these curses, and that's what this competition is about. I had a lot of fun with this one. I don't know if this one was like my favorite of all of these, but I did have a really good time. I'm looking forward to continuing the series. It was just such a fun ride. I think there definitely was a pretty good pace to the plot. It could be a little slower at times than I wanted. I think I wanted some of the stakes to be a tad higher with these trials than they were, but there was still, some brutal stuff thrown in here and there. A lot of fun, and as I said, I'm looking forward to continuing this series. I did treat myself to Quicksilver by Callie Hart. I had such a good time with this one as well. And here we're following Saris. Saris, in her world, there definitely are the haves and have-nots, have and have-nots, and she is definitely in the have-not group. She and the people around her basically have to struggle to survive and be able to get water and food and medical care, and it's a constant struggle. She basically is a thief because she has to be, and gets caught up in some things. She's brought before the queen. She accidentally opens a portal to a Fae realm and meets Kingfisher, who's on the cover here, and Kingfisher realizes that with her abilities with metals, that she can be the key to helping in a war that's going on in the Fae realm. This plot was pretty quick. I was having a lot of fun with this one. He is definitely the brooding character, and were a couple of things that annoyed me, but I still had a lot of fun with their dynamic and with the plot, especially with how things were going towards like the last half of it. It was just a lot of fun, and yeah, very much looking forward to the next one coming out this year. I also really enjoyed, on the cozier side, Can't Spell Treason Without Tea. This follows Reyna and Canth. Reyna is a guard for the queen, basically, and there's an assassination attempt at the beginning, and she realizes that she no longer wants to be a guard for this queen, and her girlfriend Canth, why can I not say words? Her girlfriend Canth basically tries to convince her to basically just run away and open a tea shop with her. And Canth is a mage, a pretty powerful mage. And so, you can't just leave the queen's service and run away. You also can't leave your mage duties and run away. And so people are both going to be kind of looking for them. And so they need to navigate trying to run away and start this tea shop when people aren't going to want them to do that. But they're so cute. It is really cozy. So maybe it sounds like the stakes are going to be higher. And like the nice thing was there were some stakes, but it still felt very cozy. You're still following them, integrating themselves into this kind of far, like out of the way, really cold, community. I say cold as in the weather. Like it's far in the north, like it's pretty cold, snowy, so it's definitely good winter vibes. And so it's kind of this cold, remote community that they're integrating themselves into and learning about the people in this community and helping them through this tea/book. I forgot to mention the books, like it's a tea/bookshop. And so people come in, they have tea, they read, and it's just a vibe. It is a vibe. Immaculate. Oh my god, I adored this one a lot. I love their dynamic so much. I love their dynamic with the community. Would highly recommend. I'm excited to read A Pirate's Life for tea. So those are just some romantasies that I've enjoyed recently as just a quick hit to at least get these in a video somewhere. So the one that I'm currently reading is Throne of Secrets by Carrie Maniscalco. So this is the companion novel to Throne of the Fallen and is part of her Princes of Sin world. This is Prince of Gluttony, this is Adriana, and this one actually also involves dragons. I had not read the synopsis. I knew I would want to read this without really paying too much attention to the synopsis, but it actually involves dragons, which is a super fun surprise. Ice dragons specifically. So in Prince Gluttony's realm, his is kind of a northern realm and is close to these ice dragons, and they have a very careful agreement with these ice dragons to make sure that no one hurts each other. Everyone has this very careful agreement and follows it for everyone's protection. And something is going on with the ice dragons. They're starting to kind of lose touch with themselves and potentially being a threat to his soldiers or, the guard that is checking up on these ice dragons. And so he's trying to figure out what's going on. He thinks there's something going on to affect these dragons that they wouldn't, if there wasn't some external influence, they wouldn't be doing this. And so he's trying to figure out what's going on. Adriana is a reporter. She has gotten whiff of some things surrounding this ice dragon story, but he wants to make sure that she doesn't publicize this and kind of freak everyone out, basically. And so they very publicly do not like each other. She actually reports mostly on royal things, the scandal, the gossip page kind of. And so, she reports on a lot of royal events, and they do not like each other very publicly. And so to make sure that she doesn't try to follow this ice dragon story as well, he basically threatens her job and says that she should instead be, and he's not her boss, but he has influence over her boss, that she should be the romance advice columnist instead. And so she's kind of forced to do this while still wanting to look into this ice dragon story on the side. Another potential distraction that he is going to try to throw at her is he's going to try to have a competition to find a bride, and is offering her exclusive story rights to follow that competition. Anyway, but there's this very public feud between them. There's also this place in his realm where basically you can kind of be anonymous, you can glamour yourself, you can wear a mask, and indulge in all of the sins, right? So it's kind of a place for people to indulge in all of the sins that the princes, their realms, there's wrath, gluttony, sloth, all of that. And so it's this very exclusive club, and just all sorts of debaucherous things happen, yada yada. And they end up meeting each other in this place where they don't really know who the other person is. And sparks are flying. So there's that happening on the side, and I'm sure at some point, they're going to realize what's going on. But I'm loving these just different threads and how they're tying together. Their dynamic is super fun, both sides of their dynamic that we've been able to explore so far are just super fun. So I'm remembering why I absolutely have adored. Well, I need to actually keep going with the original trilogy. But anyway, I've enjoyed, the first book in that original trilogy, Throne of the Fallen, and I'm really enjoying this one as well. So anyway, this is a super long update with the wrap up as well at the beginning, but I will keep going with this one. Hopefully I can check in tomorrow. Is Monday. I'm hoping I can check in tomorrow, and then at some point on Tuesday or Wednesday as I'm commuting, I'll finish it and then give you a wrap up after I have finished it. But yeah, see you then. So I have finished Throne of Secrets by Carrie Maniscalco, and had a grand time with this one. I knew that I would. I loved Throne of the Fallen, enjoyed the first book of the trilogy. Again, I need to go back to the trilogy and actually finish that. But anyway, thoroughly enjoyed. I think I talked about the setup, but yeah, still just had really positive feelings about this one. It was just fun. It was just super fun. It was fun to see the characters go through their journey, and I kind of appreciated how this was set up and the use of that secret club, or the club where you can have your identity remain a secret. I kind of love how that was brought in, because I feel like that was the main way that she could have made this romance believable. And so I think that was a really smart use of this, because they really do dislike each other. And, it's not super hate or anything, but they really don't like each other. And so I feel like that was, if you're going to have a believable dislike at the beginning of the story, I feel like this hidden identity way of at least getting that chemistry there and at least starting that was a really smart use of that, because then it becomes believable to come back and then, have these different storylines converge and need to have the characters figure things out from there. Anyway, it was just a grand time, and I enjoyed having some dragons in here. There wasn't, the dragons aren't a huge part of it. I mean, they are a pretty big part of it, but in terms of communication with them, there isn't as much of that as there would be in like a traditional dragon fantasy. But yeah, it was fun to have the dragons in there. I loved Adriana and her being a journalist, or naturally inquisitive and trying to figure out what was going on, and did end up loving their dynamic, and them trying to figure it out despite everything else going on, because of course there's a lot of other stuff that they need to figure out. There's this competition for his bride that needs to get figured out, and anyway, I loved how it all came together. So had a grand time with this one. I feel like there will probably be another Romantasy that I read in the near future, so I will keep this vlog going. I'm not exactly sure. I know there will at least be one, but it's a continuation of a series where it's like they aren't a series of standalones, so I don't know how much I'll be able to say about that one, but I think there might be another one on deck as well. So anyway, I'll keep this vlog going and we'll come back once I have started another Romantasy. So I need to do this pretty quickly. I have started another Romantasy. It is Heavenly Bodies by Imani Aru. I'm having such a fun time with this one so far. I'm about 40% of the way through. It's actually been quite a bit of time since I've continued this vlog, but it's early May, and this is on my May TBR, but I figured it would be fun to go ahead and put it in this vlog and wrap up this vlog with this book. Anyway, just kind of add one more in there. So this one follows Alara and Enzo. Alara is taken from her home at the beginning of the story, brought to a rival kingdom. The king and prince of this rival kingdom want her help with something. Based on her abilities, they think that she can help basically take down a star, a god. And for reasons that have to do with the prophecy, she actually decides that they can be reluctant allies in this particular mission. And so she's dealing with this prophecy. There's a lot going on with her past, with the this rivalry between these kingdoms and the types of magic that they have. That's been pretty fun to explore. She for reasons agrees. She's being trained by the prince, who of course they hate each other at first, and then are spending more time together while training. She is having trouble accessing a particular type of her magic, her shadow magic, and so he is trying to help her be able to access that type of magic. They go to see a seer, basically, to kind of figure out why she can't access this type of magic. Anyway, so they're working to figure that out, and she comes to find that back home in her home kingdom, things are happening where some of the only people that she cares about are being threatened, and so she, might need to go back and try to at least use as much of her abilities as she can at the moment and help out there, but she really needs to build up her abilities further before she can truly manipulate her shadow magic. Anyway, it's been kind of interesting. I'm really enjoying just the vibe of the world. I'm enjoying Alara and Enzo's dynamic. Their banter has been fun. Just kind of the push and pull that they have has been fun. So I'm having a good time. And yeah, I need to make this update brief, but as I said, I am about 40% of the way through. So I will check back in once I have most likely finished it. I'll be honest. I'll probably finish it while commuting. So commuting this week. So I'll probably check in once I've finished it, but enjoying it so far. So here to wrap up this vlog. So I have finished Heavenly Bodies by Imani Aru. I adored this one. I'm very excited for the next one to come out. I don't know how many books are planned for this series. If you happen to know, let me know in the comments. I would be curious if it's going to be a duology or if it's a planned trilogy or what's going on. But I had fun with this one. I enjoyed the writing, enjoyed just being in this world, enjoyed these characters and their dynamic, and, you know, wasn't fooled by the twist, but, you know, so, some things were happening, and I was like, is this actually what's happening? And anyway, I don't want to say anything about what was actually going on, but it was fun. It was fun. So it wasn't necessarily a surprise, but yeah, had a good time. Very excited to see where this goes in the next one. I also was wanting to continue a series, and this was actually on my May TBR for the prompt to continue a series. And so I wanted to just throw this in here quickly since it is a continuation of a series. It's kind of hard to talk about. So this is the continuation after Lightlark, and Lightlark might have been one of the ones. It's been so long since I filmed the first set of clips. I'm pretty sure Lightlark was on the list of what I was like doing a wrap up for towards the beginning of these clips. So I think I've already talked about it in this vlog, but this is the continuation. And this one is definitely a very different setup from the first one because we've kind of gone through those trials. And so this isn't, a trials scenario. It really is Isla and the crew like trying to come to terms with what happened, knowing that there are some threats that they're going to face and trying to prepare for those threats while she's continuing to find out more about her magic and about how she can try to help people. Anyway, I had a fun time with this one, actually, and so I'm definitely excited to wrap up the series, and we'll see. I think I'm going to wrap it up here, and maybe at some point in a future Romantasy vlog just quickly mention how I felt about the third one, because I want to go ahead and get this edited and get this up. So I think I'll just wrap it up here and say thank you so much for watching this over a long period of time wrap up sort of kind of reading vlog thing, whatever this turned out to be. Thank you for watching it. And subscribe for more bookish content, and I'll be sure to link my Instagram below, as well as more information about how you can support the Black Lives Matter movement, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.